I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's fish jumping over there. And usually that's not something that excites me. But I have to tell you, I was inside and I thought I was in the boat, and I swore somebody was diving on the boat next to me. The bubbles were coming up, blub, 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 all this stuff. And it came out and it's all these fish playing around the boat. Oh, there's one that just jumped over here. Look at them. See them all coming here? I don't know what they are, but they're some happy fish. They're running around getting their fishy breakfast, I guess. Anywho, hello and welcome. I'm Tim, and this is SV Paquita, and it's a special day. It's gonna rain later on, but you know what? Let me get off this because there's gonna be a lot of people walking across here. I always feel odd talking to myself when I'm really talking to you guys. But today is the 46th running of the Rolex Middle Ocean Race. And you might say, good call, getting up here for that. No, it just happened to be that way. Had no idea about it. I'm not a racer. See these little bubbles over here? Oh God, I wish I could. Anyway, oh wow, look at all the water in there. That was all the water. Why is it so brown? I don't understand. Oh God, that's probably our battery. That's all they're from the rain last night. Oh God. Anyway, yeah. So it's the Rolex race. It's a 606-mile race around Sicily that starts here, and we're right about to get some nasty weather. I think this afternoon it's supposed to rain and then be a huge blow tomorrow, which sucks for me. You can see these guys over here are getting ready. See the green Rolex flag they have on there, but they love the wind, so God bless them. I think they can have it. But I have so many things to tell you guys about. I'm so excited on so many different levels. First of all, we got here. Malta so far has been incredible. I've just been so happy, and I haven't even seen the sights yet. Just with the facilities, the people, the food, everything has just been amazing so far. But let me tell you what happened. Remember all that stuff of me working with my cooking on my Kamado grill? And remember those pork belly that I was making for the Irish lads? Well, that makes chicharrones. So if you guys are familiar with chicharrones, it's the fat of the belly of a pig, and you cook it up and it gets really hard and you go crunch, 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 crunch. Well, I never had any pain, and I don't know what really happened, but I felt with my tongue that there's a hole in one of my teeth. So I think that what happened was I broke a filling somewhere, and it kind of makes sense. You know, when I was a kid, I had some fillings, and they were the old silver fillings back in the day. And now I really haven't had any dental issues at all. I've been really blessed. But then as I got older, everything started falling apart, and it wasn't exactly my oral hygiene as much as it was that everything was old that was in there. So one by one, all the fillings have had to come out, and they put the new composite ones in, the epoxy ones that they cure with UV light and that sort of stuff. Anyway, I didn't have a problem. I thought that it was fine, but what I was thinking was that it would be awful if I didn't take care of this thing and bite it in the butt right sooner than later. So this happened when I was in Greece. I did a Google search and said, where's the best place to get dental work? Greece, Italy, or Malta? And Google came back a strong Malta for the technology, education, and quality of the healthcare, and their price. So we got here yesterday, we did our thing. At 11 o'clock, I called a dentist and said, is there any way I can get in? They said, sure, come in at 1 o'clock. So just 2 hours after I called, I could come in. We walked up there, we walked in, they checked everything out. They removed the old filling, they put the new filling in, they numbed me all up so that, and I have to say the dental office was every bit as modern as anyone that I've ever been in. And remember, my first wife was a hygienist, so I'm very familiar with the dental world. Well, I was back then anyway. And they dumbed me up, they removed the old one, they put the new one in. They said, hey, when are you going back to the dentist? I said, probably not until June of next year. And they said, well, we have an opening with our hygienist. Do you want to get a cleaning? I said, sure, why not? So they did a cleaning, and they did a cleaning in a way that I've never seen before. You know how they usually do the little thing, it's like a little buffing wheel that goes, when they get done, they polish your teeth up and all that. Well, they had some sort of soda blaster or something that smelled like lemon and tasted terrible, but they blasted away everything. And I just can't tell you what a great experience it was. We came out, from the time I walked in to the time I walked out was less than 40 minutes. Walked out and, oh, the price. It was 130 euros. Remember, I don't have any insurance over here. If you're from another country and you say, yeah, that seems reasonable, that's about 10% of what I would expect to pay in the US without insurance. So yeah, I was very, very, very pleased with that. And the I say Novocaine, but I don't think it really is. I think they use other stuff, but they don't call it Novocaine. Everybody calls it Novocaine now. But anyway, when that wore off, I have no pain. It doesn't even feel like I had any work done. It's perfect. It's the exact job. So that was a big win. Then what else happened was we got taken by the local taxis. We asked one taxi cab if he could drive us to Malta, because I thought we were in Malta. We're actually just around the corner of Malta, and a couple of you guys have pointed that out in the comments, but I'm an idiot. I thought this whole area was Malta. Excuse me, no, jeez, still early in the morning, I'm an idiot. It's all Malta, but I thought this was Valletta, but it's around the corner from Valletta, and I can't even tell you where we are. But anyway, we're at the beautiful Roland Marina. Love this place, love the people here. I wish I could stay here forever. But I do have a budget. I'm blowing a lot of my budget staying here every night. So anyway, to get to Malta was about 10 or 15 minute drive, and the taxi that took us over there said 20 euros. I thought, well, okay, that seems reasonable. And but we weren't sure because the guy only wanted cash. He wouldn't take credit card. And it just, you get that vibe where you're like, there's something fishy about this. So on the way back, we went to a taxi stand, and there was a whole bunch of taxis there. We got into the taxi, and the guy drove us halfway back to a supermarket and he wanted 60 euros to hang out with us until we get done shopping. So no, you don't have to hang out. We can walk from here. It was all right, 30 euros. So I was like, wow, we just got taken. So we paid him that. Then we came back and did the other part. So we had to go to another store. I'm getting ahead of myself. We went to a bunch of different stores. They were all about the same distance apart from me. I used my Uber app, and it was $5 and change, and that's US dollars, so like probably 4 euros. So incredible difference. Then I talked to somebody, and they said, oh, never. Oh yeah, when I went to the chandlery, I was bitching about the taxi. They say, never get a ride from the white taxis. The white taxis are all pirates. So anyway, you know what? I just remember what I did. When I had my, oh God, I'm such a rookie. When I had my original, when I had the boat up originally in the, on the lift, I knew it was going to rain, so I pulled the plug. And when we came in here, we had to drop I thought I was going to get fuel and then come in here, and then it turns out the fuel place I was going to was closed. So we had to drop this really quickly, and I never put the plug in. So dumb Tim. Anyway, I'll have to pump that out later. So that's that. So we went to we went food shopping, got tons of food. We went we went to the chandlery. The chandlery was wonderful. Oh, here's, I think it's Gigi or something like that. Good morning. And oh my God, she's fantastic. And every recommendation she's given us has been a home run. So she told us which chandlery to go to. We went to there, and they were just amazing. I'm going back there again to buy some gasket material for our fridge. So hopefully we'll solve some of the icing problems, because I think I have a crack in the seal, and I think that's what's bringing in all the moisture. But then they directed us to a Garmin dealer. I've been having this problem with my Garmin suite. You guys are probably gonna laugh at, but if anyone's bought a boat that had an AIS on there, you'll know that you can't just go in and change the AIS number. And they do that so that if you steal a boat or you want to pretend you're somebody that you're not, you can't do that. So I had to get my AIS 4 or 5 years ago when I bought the boat and send it off to Garmin and give them my new MMSI number, and then they programmed that in there and sent it back to me, and that was great. Everything's been working great. And then about a month or two ago, I did a software update, And when I did a software update on the whole system, suddenly, as it shows my little triangle of Paquita in the middle of the MFD, it also shows underneath it an AIS target of SV Paquita. So I started doing all kinds of research online, reading different things, and apparently they said that if you have a different MMSI number for your system than your AIS number, your system will default thinking that its number is the real you, and it will report the other one as a potential target. So I went in, and it turns out that my VHF, if you go through there, you can see somebody has entered an MMSI number into the VHF, and that's for the DSC function, you know, for the digital selective calling function. And you also put that in there so if you could hit the emergency thing, so that will work as well. So anyway, I did all that. You can't change that either. So I've been looking for a place that will do this, and this Garmin place said, yeah, come over, bring it tomorrow, drop it off. You might not get it back for a couple days, but I'm like, that's fine with me. So I just spent this morning undoing that, putting that over. Then last night, as another, the marina recommended, I wanted information on a chandelier, a canvas person, and also a rigger. So I want a rigger to come down and check out. Just there's some things about this whole boom where this boom, I can't really do it with one arm, but I think the shivs or the nylon washers here have worn out or whatever, so this kind of rolls back and forth. This was put in, and I don't think it was ever done right, so I need somebody to check that out. And I just want a kind of a rig inspection before we go any further, because everything's working. I just don't want it broken. So anyway, that's going to be cool. So that guy is busy because of the race, but he is coming on Monday morning. They're bringing a fuel truck to the dock, and they said that we were lucky that we didn't get fuel at there's a boat that's anchored out there that like a bunker boat, and you tie up alongside, they pump it off. And the lady at the marina said, we're lucky that we go there because they got water in their fuel and their prices are more than it has. So she calls up somebody, they bring a truck down, they bring a hose over here and fill us right up. So that will happen on Monday. And then last night, Anna, apparently she's world renowned. Everyone seems to know her, but she's the person to do all your canvas work. And she came over, and we're trying to get a bid from her to see if I don't know that I can afford it, and I don't need it now, but when we get back to the Caribbean, we will. But I want to make a sun cover that will come from here and down to here. Now, usually they go out to the rail, but I don't like that, because if I'm at anchor, you'd only use it at anchor or at the marina. But if I'm at anchor and I start dragging, I need to run up there, and I don't want to have to get on my hands and knees and, army man crawl all the way up the side of the boat, so that would be really stupid. So I don't really care. I just want it functional. So it would come down like this and get onto this handrail right over here, and then it would do the same up there. And then if everything goes right, it'll be so that we can leave the hatches open. So obviously it's not going to be completely watertight, but we'll be able to get airflow underneath the thing. And if there is an afternoon downpour, which happens all the time in the Caribbean, we won't have downpour we might have a little bit of mist come through the windows, but that's about it. So that's what we're doing. So right now I have to go cook Cristalita breakfast. I've got some stuff going downstairs. I'll go take care of that. And then as soon as that goes, I'm going to get underway, because I've already got my got the radio out, and I've got to get up to the Garmin guy and drop it off and get over the chandelier and buy a couple things over there. And then I got to start work. I got a whole bunch of projects, because all this beautiful weather, once again, we don't know if it's how accurate the forecast is, but it's supposed to be pouring rain, cats and dogs this afternoon and all day tomorrow or whatever. So hopefully we'll have all kinds of good work to do while we're here. So you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting, and thank you for everything. You guys take care, be safe, and as always, I'll see you on the one.